EM, 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 everyone. How are we doing? I hope we're all well. We've got a banger in store today. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys all are too. Just going to wait for Glenn from Echelon to join us. I'm going to invite him to the stage as well. Yeah, it's going to be a good chat. You know, if you haven't been to any of these before, there he is, the main man himself. If you haven't been to any of these before, it's good vibes. We tend to just shoot the shit with the layer 2 familiar. We give a bit of a background into sort of who they are as a person before we obviously go into the finer details of the product and why you guys should care about even being here today. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Glenn, you here? Can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going?
Man, it's nice to finally speak with you, man. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Very, very good. We usually give it just another
Finished up
sort
my
of...
breakfast, some beans on toast and some eggs, so feeling
There's no
well
way you
nourished.
have beans on toast.
No, I've been outside the UK for too long to go back to my old ways. But
I'm gutted. Honestly, the next time that I do have it, I need to post it on Twitter. You just know they're going to go insane about it.
yeah, they'll definitely have something to say for sure. You know, it's not a bad breakfast, but I think there's definitely better.
Yeah, do you know what? I kind of get the hate, but you know, I don't know. It's kind of like supporting a shit football team. You know that you deserve the hate, but you can't just sit there and take it. Right.
Right.
What time is it? 8:03. I think
Got a
we're
DJ
probably
here
good.
as well.
Yes, we do. Bad friend. Usually he'll deal with the volume himself, and for me it's fine because obviously I've been in a few calls with him before. But if it is bad for any of you guys, if it's too loud for any of you, you can just right click on his little square tile and turn it down a little bit, just in case you can't hear the speakers or anything like that. But yeah, should be good times. Thank you very much for coming as well, bad friend. But yeah, let's get started. We might as well introduce this now. We've got a few people in here, and people usually sort of come in about 5-10 minutes late. It's pretty classic, to be honest with you. But yes, welcome everyone. Thank you to all of you that have decided to participate today and have given us your time for the next hour. I really appreciate that. For our AMA session today, I am very privileged to be joined by Glenn from Echelon. And there is some unfortunate news, as obviously you have just heard. We are both British. Glenn has been out the UK for a while, so he says, but you will need to listen to two Brits talk in the same call about crypto. So yeah, not a great start to your Friday night if you're not a fan of the British. But please make sure we give a warm welcome to our new Layer 2 friends over at Echelon and to Glenn. So Glenn, if you could please just introduce yourself to the Initia family and just give them a nice hello.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for the intro. Thankfully, I ended up in one of the British colonies, so I'm far more Canadian than British. So hopefully the accent doesn't wear you guys down. But my name's Glenn. I'm one of the co-founders of Echelon. Echelon is a borrowing and lending marketplace. Been live on Aptos for about 8 months, and we'll be the day one deploying on Initia as a debt marketplace later too. We're built on Aptos Move, so we were one of the earlier teams building in the Aptos space, working with Movement and Initia as well. So sort of been working with Move for about 16, 17 months, some of the earlier teams to get on there, and super both on the language, and obviously Initia seems to be as well. Do you want to do the full rundown of Echelon, the start, KP? How do you want to take this?
No, well, what I usually like to do, because I feel like this is quite important for people to get to know the actual people behind the product first, because obviously it's nice to know, in crypto we don't often get to speak to people like this. We don't often get to hear their voice, hear their story, that kind of thing. And I think it adds to just, why I should use your product. Because if I like you as a person and I like your story and can resonate with you in any way, then I find that gives you a bit more of an edge as well. So I guess my first real question would just be, could you just give us a little bit of information about your journey through crypto and how you've arrived to this point of where you are with Echelon?
Yep, definitely. I got started in crypto when I was late in high school, early in university. Um, Bought my first Bitcoin on Coinbase in 2019. When I was in school, I met a couple classmates and professors who were a lot more involved in the space, both from like a development and sort of investment perspective. So they opened my eyes to a lot of the cool things that were happening sort of underneath the scenes. I've had the kind of a interesting work path for the last couple of years. But when I was in school, I started the blockchain club. So we did about 2 years of developer courses, networking events, worked with a bunch of different companies in the space, from Layer Zero and Hyperliquid to Arbitrum and Solana to basically help onboard students and teach them. So worked with a bunch of universities, participated in a lot of hackathons. That was all throughout 2021, 2022. From there, I joined a fund, so it was a family office fund. We allocated a lot of capital to on-chain yield strategies, but also on the venture side. So around this time is when I sort of got a lot more exposed to Move, because it was 2022 when sort of Aptos and Sui were coming onto the scene and raising, and Initia's first round was around then too. So explored this space, kind of realized that this is a chance to be VM in language that can stand the test of time and be quite impactful over the next couple of years. So sort of place a couple of big bets on that, including obviously quitting my jobs and going to build full time in the Move DeFi space. And then dropped everything about 16 months ago. Teamed up with the crew and started building Echelon because we saw a big opportunity to basically win on like a product first perspective. We thought there was a lot of stuff that had been implemented on EVM, Solana, a lot of like good features that had not made their way over to the Move ecosystem yet. So we sort of started first from like a product first perspective of building markets that isolate risk better, building markets that are more capital efficient, having a system that allows people to borrow at more effective interest rates and sort of get more leverage without paying too much fees for it. So that's sort of the initial vision behind Echelon. But myself, just been started off learning and educating, helping grow with others, while sort of learning myself and investing in the space. And that snowballed over a couple of years of networking and building relationships and adding value to getting to the spot we're in today.
It's super interesting because I've asked this question to quite a few people now, right? And obviously, you have the one or two people that have perhaps gone from this big hedge fund job and a big, very corporate traditional finance level straight into crypto. But I found that a lot of people did start off with that kind of, okay, I'm going to dabble with crypto, I'm going to experiment with it, and then have this real passion for it now where others perhaps didn't. So I'm going to educate them on this. And, even just the stuff you said about blockchain club is something that even I did at my university as well, before coming back out into like the working world of Web3. So I just think it's interesting to point that out to perhaps some of the listeners that are here and that are maybe in that position now where they're thinking of getting into creating and educating other people, perhaps hosting events and that kind of thing. Because truly, like, when I say I spoke to most people and their answer to this question and their progression through crypto starts off somewhere there, is the percentage is massive. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, it's been great to watch too, because like over the years I was with a lot of friends at a bunch of different schools and they've all sort of come up and grown together and built really great stuff now. So I think for me, and if anybody here is still younger in the university space, it was definitely very ROI thing. Just put myself out there, take a chance. Someone once told me like in life you obviously get lucky and something's fall into your lap, but like you have to build a surface area to have this luck sort of come. And for me, getting involved with like the university scene and just building the network early through that was sort of how I made myself available or made myself able to get lucky, right?
Yeah, I love that saying too, and it's something that I personally live by and stand behind all the time as well. So yeah, thank you very much for bringing that up. So, as some of you may have noticed, in the tweets where we spoke about this, we mentioned that today would be a kind of like a whiteboarding session, which means that not only will Glenn be able to speak you through the product, as he's kind of like giving you a quick glide over it, but with the ability obviously to share his screen as well, we'll be able to visually demonstrate certain aspects of it too, to sort of aid our understanding. So Glenn, I don't know if you first want to just begin with like an explain like I'm five of it, and then go through a visual demonstration of actually going through the vaults. But it would be useful for people to have a very broad overview first, I think, before going into the visuals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. So for everybody here who may or not be familiar, Echelon is a borrowing and lending market. So the first iterations of these products you would have seen would be Compound and Aave on ETH mainnet, and then they're sort of branched out. So every chain sort of has one or two cornerstone lending markets, and how these products function at a very high level is there's collateral and there's debt. So if users want to borrow any sort of asset, let's say you're holding Init and you want to borrow some stables against it, maybe you don't want to sell your Init because you think it's going to keep going up, or you don't want to have a taxable event, you're able to borrow stable coins against the pool. But in order to do so, you need to put in some sort of collateral. So you have to supply an asset in and then borrow against that. I think it might be easier with a bit of a visual representation, but at a very high level, there's multiple pools of assets, and people who deposit into the pool, they provide collateral, and those deposits earn yield based on the borrow interest that people pay, plus any incentives that are allocated to the pool, and people borrow against the assets if they want to gain leverage or go long on a certain asset. Or loop up a position. So there's a variety of different strategies you can use, but at a very high level, it's just one big market with a variety of assets being deposited as both collateral and borrowed as debt.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much. I think that gives it gives enough of an understanding of it. Obviously, like you said, it is quite a mouthful sometimes when you can't see it happening in action. So, did you want to share your screen, and we can like visually demonstrate this as well?
Yes, I just need to change a permission here to allow screen recording. Okay.
No problem. You might need to quit Discord to come back in, but that's no problem as well.
Yes, I think I had to quit and join back. So give me
no problem.
Give me 30 seconds here, guys. I'll be back.
No problem. While he is gone, we were gonna boo him when he comes back. Boo! I'm joking. We're generally very, very privileged to have Glenn here with us. He is a big brain, and I think that you'll see that by the end of today, and you'll see why. I mean, me personally, I come from a DeFi background. It's something that I'm very passionate about. It's something that brought me into crypto to begin with. Oh, here he is. And just the fact that we're going to get this kind of DeFi in Initia is something very exciting. So take it away, my friend.
All right. See if this works here. All right.
Yep,
Loading in. Can we see it?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. I'm going to keep the chat open here, so if there's any questions as it goes through, feel free to ping them and I'll get them if I can. So this is Echelon. This is our app that is currently live on Aptos mainnet. This is the first page you'll see as you come to the app, and it's complicated. There's a bunch of different things popping up in your face, but what this is basically a dashboard to view, monitor, and manage all positions that you have open. On the left side, you have supplies, and on the right side, you have borrows. What you can see here is all the assets that we currently have supported in the main market. So anybody can come in and take an existing balance that they have on their wallet and sort of supply it, right? And what happens when you supply assets to the pool, like I mentioned, there's some interest that is generated and paid back to users for supplying. So that's represented here in the APR column. But also, as you add in more assets and collateral, you get increased borrowing power. And what this borrowing power gives you is the ability to sort of borrow other assets, right? So every dollar of collateral that goes in earns you some additional borrowing power against the assets, depending on what's called the loan to value ratio. So if I were to supply extra APT right now, say I want to put 10 APT into the market, my health factor, which is basically you can see here that this position is earning some interest, and as I add more assets into the pool, I get more of a healthy position, i.e. more borrowing power and more margin on the account. So I go ahead and sign with this. And just like that, the deposit is processed, and in just a second, my balance and my borrowing power will update, meaning that my account has now got a bit more collateral and margin in it. So there's two types of lending pools and markets currently supported on Echelon. One is up here, you can see the main pool, and what this is a selection of about 10 to 20 larger cap assets that are a bit more liquid. So this is where you would see on Ethereum, you'd see ETH, you'd see USDC, USDE, some of the liquid staked ETH. So this is kind of the blue chip assets, if you will, end up in the main pool, and any deposit into the main pool, you can borrow other assets out of it. So any of these assets can be supplied and borrowed against each other. The second type of market that we have is called isolated markets. So this is for longer tail products, meme coins, governance tokens, sort of smaller cap coins. And what this basically allows you to do is borrow the individual asset against one individual debt asset. So it's not like one to many, it's a one-to-one pairing right now. And lenders in this pool are aware that they're taking on a bit of a increased risk for supplying to basically a position that's collateralized by, in this case, a meme coin. But we allow basically people to pick the risk tolerance which they want and supply assets into the strategies and markets that align with that. So this is the dashboard. This is the overview of everything you can see, and the entirety of all the interactions that you'll do with the app come on this page. Over here, you can check on the market tab to basically get a high-level snapshot of what is in the market right now, what is available for borrowing, what are the current interest rates, and what sort of parameters are set on each market. So if we look here at USDC, you can tell that there is currently $100 million supplied and $8 million available for borrowing. And I can go through each column one by one if it helps. We also have little pointers here. By the way, it's on here. Let's go. But on the markets tab, you can basically see all the different pairings and setups that we have, what parameters, what liquidity is available for each market, and currently what the rates are. What's up, Don?
Bonjour, fellas. How we doing?
Sure.
Has Glenn been teaching us how to use the lending markets?
A little bit. We're still doing the overview, but I'll show them the looping soon.
That's all we need to know, how to max farm the Echelon points.
Yes, sir.
That's true. Well, points tabs was the next one I'm getting to. First, we're going over, loan to value, liquidation threshold, etc. All this important stuff.
Did you?
On the markets tab,
did we pull out the whiteboard?
I think the whiteboard's coming later. KP, maybe you can, Mr. MC here.
Yes, sir. We can get the whiteboard up later. No problem.
I think the whiteboard is going to be interesting because I want to see how you are thinking about how the product will evolve multi-chain.
Right.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, KP, keep me on a tight leash or I'll run off here forever. But very quickly, we have sort of descriptions of all the parameters, and on each individual market, you can click through to see a bit more of a granular level of how much has been supplied over time, what the interest rates are, what they have been historically, just so you can sort of get a better understanding, as well as anything that applies, like caps to the size of the market on the borrow and supply side, how much you can borrow against a specific type of collateral, and then this fancy thing here called emote. I'll come back to this in just 1 second, as it's quite important for the stuff that is on.
That's called the max leverage button, eh?
This is the max leverage button. Yeah, so on the markets page, you get a high-level snapshot of everything that's available, both in the main pool and also the isolated lending pairs that we have live. And on the dashboard is we make all the interactions with the market. So going back to this E-mode or efficiency mode thing, as mentioned at the beginning, one of the things that we were looking at when we were starting Echelon is how do we sort of take best practices from other ecosystems and apply them to the Move ecosystem? How do we bring over sort of the best and most innovative products over the last couple of years and sort of apply that to this new ecosystem? And there's a couple of things that we brought over this year. So there's the isolated markets for this risk diversification. And then there's efficiency mode, which is the first product we launched with on mainnet. And sort of as our initial main selling point is that you can toggle on this feature, which allows you to borrow certain assets at higher loan to value than you would regularly. And the way this is managed securely is by restricting this set of assets you can borrow against any sort of collateral. So if you're supplying stable coins and you're borrowing only stable coins against that stable, since they're both paired since they're both correlated and you'd expect most stable coins to retain similar value, you can borrow much higher against that. So currently we support 2 types of efficiency mode. One is for stables. The other is for APT and the liquid staked APT. Right, so if you're staking, you're getting 7 or 8%, but if you want to leverage long on the APT yields, you can borrow more APT against it and loop up there. On this account, I can't had to close up some positions to switch out of into stable E mode or APT mode, but that's how it works. And very quickly, points. There is an ongoing points program still. Points. We got this fancy little explainer here. I don't know if you can see this tab or not. Yeah.
Quick question. Right now, to get points, I need to have like a Move wallet and be using this on Aptos. Once this exists on Initia, like what's that going to look like a bit more? Do I have to be do I have to use like an Aptos wallet, or are you going to use the Initia wallet widget so users can use any wallet?
We will integrate the Initia wallet adapter, so and any supported asset wallets will be good. But I think that encompasses a variety of Aptos wallets, the Initia wallet itself, and some EVM wallets. But that's probably more of an Initia team question to ask. They'll point. We'll add it.
Okay, nice. Every wallet.
Yep.
Let's go.
Every wallet, every chain, interoperable via layer 0. Speaking of interoperability, one thing that we have within the app is native bridging. So we built an instance of the layer 0 bridge, so people can sort of directly bridge over from any network to Aptos and eventually to Initia as well. And we're working on a feature where the collateral can be deposited cross-chain instantly into a position, so it sort of removes that one last step of friction. So it's no longer like claim the bridge assets and supply, but it could just be deposited from any chain. So that should be rolling out sometime in January.
Nice. There's also an Initia bridge widget, which will do all the stuff into your rollup. I'm not exactly sure how the UX is going to work with the multiple different ones, but we'll leave that for you to solve.
So we're here for it.
Good man.
Maybe real quick, I'll see if there's any questions from like the listeners about the app, about what
I've got one.
I guess.
I've got one question.
Shoot.
I wanted to know what the thought process is behind which assets can be borrowed and lent. You know, is there a thought process behind it? What are the steps that go into getting something on there?
Yeah, we have a team of 3 people that looks at listings, myself and 2 others. One of the others has much more of like a trading background from Goldman Sachs and some other crypto firms. And basically for every asset, it's very important that we do a proper assessment before onboarding it, because if you allow people to take too much leverage against an asset that has very little on-chain liquidity, and there happens to be some sort of liquidation, you can end up in a situation where there's cascading liquidation. So to onboard every asset, we do a review of the asset itself, the holder base, the audits on the protocol. We build price feeds for every asset that we onboard. For most teams, we end up just building the oracles ourselves if they don't have one already. So we basically need to make sure that the price feeds aren't going to deviate extremely, that there's enough liquidity on chain to support the assets being borrowed and lent. And that sort of goes into our decision to list some things as assets in the main market, right? USDC, obviously much more liquid, higher cap token, so we're able to allow people to borrow against it at 80 or even 90% of the value if they go up into E mode. But something like a meme coin on Aptos, even if this is the largest meme coin on Aptos, it still is lower quality collateral than APT itself or the meme coin or the USDC. So there's a process. It takes us a couple of days to go through every asset that gets onboarded, and each one sort of gets its own review written up internally.
I also have a question. What is the highest leveraged yield that we can get on Echelon right now if I want to deposit? Pre-points.
Right now, 3 points. So there's two ways that you can get good yield on Echelon right now, and I think the markets tab is probably best to explain this. One is in stablecoin looping. So I think our good friend Stan might be doing a good bit of this. But currently we have an incentives budget from the Aptos Foundation, and with this budget we're able to allocate some extra rewards to people who supply USDC. And if you can look here, and any mathematicians in the chat will be able to realize that, wait, I can supply an asset and earn almost 12%. I can borrow the asset at 9%, or I can borrow USDT at 7%. And what you can do is supply the asset, borrow a stable coin against it. So you're still paired stable to stable, or even the same stable if you choose to go with that strategy, and resupply the asset then to earn additional yield, right? So if you see on this account, my net APR is currently closer to 20%, even though all the supply rates are just 11, because I've taken on some leverage. I've borrowed some more stable coins against the ones, and I've resupplied them. If you were to max out the leverage and get your health factor down to 102%, which is the lowest that we allow by borrowing, you could be yielding in the 50 and 60% range. I tried that on one account recently to confirm it, and I posted a screenshot on my Twitter if you guys need the proof. But stable-wise, you can loop up to the 30-40% range. And once we onboard Athena, which will probably be the next point of this conversation here, we do expect that to be even higher. And then secondly, you can take sort of directional exposure if you want. If you're holding staked APT, the yield is currently 8.5%, and you can go and borrow Aptos against it for 4% at pretty high LTV, and then just restake, redeposit, borrow more. So depending on how comfortable you are taking on that leverage and looping it, you can get up into the 60-70% yield range. But that yield is paid in APT solely, so you still have like a directional exposure.
Risk-free 20% yield. Let's go.
Dude, once we have Athena there, it's going to be great. And then all the Elon tokens we're going to get. Oh, man. Oh, Glenn. G.
Ozone.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about Athena quickly? Because I think that's going to be one of the more interesting things for both Echelon on Aptos, but more particularly Echelon on Initia.
Yep. So, yeah, this is all alpha for all you folks that came to this. So thank you to the 44 people here. We will be having quite a large partnership with the Athena Foundation to bring SUSDE, ENA, and USDE to Initia. And this means that it'll be the canonical yield-bearing stablecoin of interwoven rollups, but also the Initia layer 1. And one might say that it could also be in Shrine Liquidity. And so Echelon's interwoven rollup will be, juiced with quite a lot of SUSDE as well as the shards. So Athena users will benefit from bringing liquidity over, not just because of the insane APYs they can get on the lending market, but also the Athena token airdrops that they do every season.
And VIP system, right?
And VIP, yep. And Echelon points. So it should be quite the yield
by
stack.
the time we're live on Initia, it won't just be points. It'll be emissions as well. So should everything go according
we got real tokens coming in.
Real tokens, guys. No more points. Coming soon, God willing. But yeah, super excited to bring over Initia, and I think if anybody here wants a good case study Athena to Initia to the movie ecosystem more broadly, if anybody wants a good case study to look at and see what happens when a lending market onboards Athena, just look at Aave over the last 2 weeks. Look at the interest rates that are going up. Basically, Athena right now is yielding such a high APR that people want to borrow more stable coins against it and buy more SUSD. Lending market is the perfect tool to facilitate this sort of looping of the asset. And what this does is it brings up the overall yield around the entire ecosystem and every stable pair, as well as allowing people to earn VIP, earn shards from Initia, earn Echelon on top of this already attractive base APR. Now, obviously, you're taking a bunch of risk directly with Athena, but by putting your capital in there and leveraging it. But this is probably going to be one of the more exciting strategies live for day one on Initia. Yes.
Sounds excellent. Okay, I want to see your drawing skills now.
All right. Let's close this down. Is this the Canva link here? All right.
Yes. Yeah. That is the one.
These guys really asked me to come out here on a Friday afternoon and draw.
That's the way we do it. I'm just very excited to take a screenshot of whatever happens and post it on Twitter.
All right. I mean, you guys are going to be contributing to this drawing too, I hope.
Yeah. KP's going to be drawing doodles in the corner.
No.
All right. We're here. Can we all see this whiteboard?
How do I get to this? Echelon.
Yeah.
Canva.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, we can see it in the Discord as well.
Do I have to sign up or am I anonymous? Can you see my anonymous cursor?
Anonymous.
All right. I'm going to get the Echelon blue here for authenticity. Oh man, there's going to be such an ugly screenshot at the end of this, but there's going to be some good alpha on it. So if anybody can read what we write here, they'll be in a good place. Okay. Zon, what's first? What are we showing the folks here?
Okay, first, let's draw. Let's put in Echelon chain, right? And so here, let me draw the chain for you. Let me draw Echelon chain here. Okay. So this here is Echelon. Oh, why didn't I use Elon? Oh no! It's over. Okay, this here.
All right, this is Initia L1, right?
No, this is the. Oh, nice. Okay, good. Elon. And okay, Initia L1. Then here we have, we're gonna say layer 0. Because here we got this connected. And, you know, we start off with I, B, C. Okay. And then now we got to put in the two other. So what are the two other deployments of Echelon chain that will exist once this goes live? Aptos, yeah.
Oh yes. So we're doing the interop thing here.
Yeah, I want to
So we
show. I mean, the plan is right. You can have one Echelon account, and you can borrow and lend on potentially all of them, something like that.
All right. So over here we have some other chains, right? Obviously much smaller and less bold than the Initia L1, but still chains nonetheless.
Wait. Hold on. Okay, under this your system, right? When I deposit USDC on one chain, does it contribute to like some global pool across all of the chains?
So as it
In the
stands
future.
now, it's monolithic, and I spent actually a lot of time with the Layer Zero office with Brian, trying to get him to convince me that it makes more sense to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the fence, just because basically every additional, a lot of extra vectors come into play for managing state, because you need to have one constant source of truth,
Which
at
is
all times,
obviously
right?
Echelon chain.
Right.
At least the lending, there's a few lending protocols that I've seen do that, and they've used their chain as like the source of truth because they own it completely.
Side chain. It's kind of like PIF publishing network, but for managing debt balances.
Okay, I want to see you draw that because I think that's what is potentially interesting.
How would I draw that?
So like, that's
you really should let me prepare a drawing.
No preparations. So I think. Okay, this is the publishing network. Yeah. Here you have user.
Okay, let's do the simple cross-chain version first, where chain X, you have USDC, and you want to earn the yield and the VIP points.
You're saying this here is Aptos.
Sure. Right. So let's say on Initia, there's an attractive opportunity. You know, there's some VIP points. There's some vested Elon tokens. Maybe there's some sats from Athena for supplying stables to the pool. And you as a user say, man, like, what am I doing on chain X over here? Chain X is not as attractive and competitive as Initia, obviously. I got to get over that. Well, there's going to be a deposit method that you call deposit. And what this does is it's using either Layer 0 or IBC, depending on the specific chain and configuration. Your USDC, your monies from over here, end up traveling through the Etherverse.
Yep.
Using Layer 0, using IBC, and coming right up here to this pool, right? You have this one pool.
You drew it.
Son, come on, let me cook.
Yep.
Right. I think I like we both did the squiggle. That's good.
Right over it, yeah.
So in a single transaction, you as a user from any chain X, doesn't have to be named, can basically deposit your assets in and initially start earning immediately start earning the VIP, the other incentives, as well as the base APR that comes in this pool. APR. That seems like a pretty good pitch. We should send this to some LPs.
So I'm getting
this-
VIP. I'm getting V Elon. That's APR. Wait, really APR? This one is like APR goes up. Nice. I'm hooked.
Well, these three come on top of the existing APR. So yes, technically, I can't believe a DJ here at the set. That's pretty good. And this doesn't seem like a pre-recording either. He's actually mixing. Love to see it. But there's some base APR on the that's such good screenshots on. So this is the simple cross-chain flow. This is like what will be live on day one. It's basically from any supported layer 0 chain, you'll be able to enter into Echelon via a single transaction, and that means that
So from any, so this could
any
be
chain. Yeah. I think the
any
important
layer
message-
0 chain. LZ. So this could be like ETH. What are some other ones? Base.
Gold.
Bear chain.
I'll take
Wait,
one.
Sweet doesn't
chain-
have Sweet doesn't have layer 0.
The chain has to be real. But when it is, I believe Bear chain will also be suitable. Right.
Okay,
So
or
the-
it
the-
could
the-
also be, yeah, carry on.
The main thing to remember is this triple E's, everybody. Echelon earned everywhere. And what this means is that anywhere and everywhere, you're going to be able to access the Echelon chain and the VIP integrations and these sexy APRs that Zon and Co have been working on. EEE. Say it in the chat so I know you remember it. This is your homework assignment, is EEE in the chat. Okay, there we go.
Okay, and then let's try the IBC ones as well. You know, they're right here, maybe.
Oh, the bangers.
Yeah, what are the banger IBC chains? Maybe like are there any good ones anymore? Neutron. I'd say Neutron and Osmosis. Maybe that's it.
Stargaze.
Stargaze doesn't. No one holds tokens on Stargaze.
What other than stars?
Okay, 2. Maybe the hub is coming back. Glenn, what about the assets that are going to be on the chain? Like, are you expecting these to be the same assets that exist in your other lending markets, or is this going to be ones that you think are unique to, like Modular Land or like Cosmos Land? What do you think?
Some combination, I believe. So if you look at Aptos, our current deployment, I don't believe the APT and the staked APT assets will be coming over, but I do think the stables will come. I do think we have some liquid staked ETH and BTC products via Stakestone and others. I think those will be coming. We have regular ETH and BTC markets. So a good set of the existing assets, mainly the stables and sort of majors, will be coming over to Initia, as well as the sort of native assets, right? So Init, Staked Init, Tia, Milk Tia, and the rest of the modular land assets will make their way over.
Sounds pretty good to me. Okay. I've tweeted this photo now, so I've had my fun. Are there any?
We're not done yet.
What's
here.
that?
This is gonna be
Oh,
powered by
okay.
Elon.
Wait, did you add that yet?
I'm ready. Sorry, please excuse me. This is quite difficult. Okay, no, that $sign needs to be down. And if I understand correctly, this can be the native gas token of the chain.
It
You
can.
choose between Elon or Init.
You can actually have multiple, so you can even add more than this.
Points. Can I use points as gas?
The first utility for points.
I'm not gonna lie, this turned out way better than I thought it would.
Hippie, you doubted my artistic abilities?
There's definitely something artistic about this.
Maybe change that R for a U.
That was what I was thinking, yeah. Wow. This is quite something.
Alright, Don, are you tweeting this or am I tweeting this?
I already tweeted it, so you quote retweet me with a zoom in
Yeah.
on powered by Elon.
All right. Did you include the powered by Elon in your post?
Yeah, I tweeted it before it happened. It was too late.
Let's repost that. It's got to be up there.
Okay. Okay, I deleted it. Okay,
All right.
I'm taking the new screenshot. Wait, bad friend, put a thumbs up in here if you can still hear me.
Oh no, wait. You want to go get a drink?
Bad friend's being a bad friend.
He's had enough of this.
Okay, I'm tweeting it. The Echelon, earn everywhere. The 3 E's. Echelon from Glenn Moves.
Let's go. And I guess we got just 10 minutes here to wrap things up. So happy to talk product, talk tokenomics, talk about assets and strategies. KP is on. If you have any questions, let me know. And also chat. Feel free to ping me anything you're wondering, and I'll try to get to it.
Chat. I love when you say that. No, I'd love to hear about the tokenomics actually, because I feel like we haven't spoken too much about Elon itself. So yeah, I think it's useful for people to know.
So it's no longer tokenomics, it's Elonomics. But the main, I guess, driver of Echelon usage will be twofold. One is obviously gas spend on the Echelon chain, but what we're going to be implementing is a sort of vested escrow system where users who have a certain balance of a token and are managing any sort of lending positions are able to earn extra farming rewards. So if, for example, you are up on the Echelon chain doing the Athena looping and earning the sats, earning the VIP emissions, earning the Echelon emissions, some portion of those rewards will be gated to token holders. And what that basically encourages is a cycle of people purchasing and locking the tokens on deposits, and from there earning extra APR and sort of making back the difference in what they've locked up quite quickly, and growing the flywheel through that. So that is sort of the main tokenomics value of the Elon token right now. More to come soon, and obviously the gas and sort of security module for any we got Bardonomics gas token. That's actually pretty good. Bard is the gas token.
Because gas comes out when you fart. Did my messages disappear for anyone else?
I can see what Marcus chain, that one.
Do you just see Marcus chain and fart?
Yeah,
Fartonomics somehow disappeared.
that's a banned word.
Hot air rises. Okay, so G move. What does the token breakdown look like yet? Like, how much do we know how much is coming to this airdrop yet? Are you allowed to spoil that?
I'm not spoiling that, but we're studying.
Okay.
Studying.
You're
Working
studying the
on it.
hot air rises. Pain?
One of many. Less than 20% investors, less than 20% team. Everybody's vested. On that side, the community emissions is a majority share of the token, so it's the biggest bucket, and that will be distributed via the initial airdrop and emissions and such going up post launch. Can't share more. Stay tuned for the announcement. Follow me on Twitter for some sick bangers and tokenomics posts. But I will answer your question soon enough, son.
Okay, blessed. I'm ready to max stake my tokens. No cheating will occur here.
Are you
We've
already
actually been-
farming points then? I assume so.
Zon and Stan have been farming points since like day
Yeah.
one.
I think I remember you talking about this in our first ever meeting. I'm pretty sure.
See,
you did.
we like to actually use the products that are going to build on the interwoven stack to make sure they're good products before we announce any partnerships or convince them to
They're
come
such
over.
good founders. They put their own money on the line to make sure they're not gonna your users won't get rugged. Son would rather himself get rugged before the users of Initia, and that to me is like the most bullish thing about
How
Initia.
noble. How noble.
Thank you,
Truly
Staniel.
the strongest token.
Thank you, Staniel. Okay, fellas. Well, this was a fun Friday evening activity. Glenn, am I going to see you at Vesper Lounge?
I know what that is.
Glenn, am I going to see you out and about?
Yes, you will. I mean, I'm definitely locked in my room for the last month and for the next month, but I may pop by tonight because there's someone to see there. But New Year's Eve, definitely catch it.
For those that don't know, we're hosting a New Year's Eve party. Initia,
Initia,
Echelon.
Seriously,
Yep.
Lamborghini and Aston Martin are also co-hosting it, so it's subtle foreshadowing for the Athena, Echelon, Initia.
Echelon earn everywhere with Lamborghini.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me out here, guys. Always good to chat, and thanks to everybody who's here. You can always ping me on Twitter, Discord, wherever. If you find my Telegram, text me there, but please tell me how you found it, or I will probably block you. These random DMs to insta-block, but anyway. Great to see you all.
Right.
Thanks for listening, and we'll be back in the future for some more yapping sessions.
Yep. Next time on twitter.com.
Yes, sir.
X.com.
True. All right, fellas.
All right.
Good day.
See you, gents.
Thank you, bad friend.
Thank you very much, the friends, the amigos. Thank you, everyone that's in the audience as well for your time. Make sure you come to the community call tomorrow at 9 a.m. UTC. And yeah, big thank you to Glenn again. Big thank you to Echelon. Very bullish. Going to be some DeFi shenanigans on Initia. Yeah, super looking forward to it. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your time. Happy Friday.
All right. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.